when did you fall in love with like women in hip hop?
Okay, do you want to go first? Because I have a really good one this week.
Okay, you go first. I'm trying to figure out where I want to start so it doesn't give it away.
Okay. You thought I was feeding you? Bitch, wait on the bus. Bitch is a vacuum. She wanted some lunch. Bitches want beef, but I'm up in a steak. You thought I was feeding you?
Oh my
Bitch,
God.
wait on the bus. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. I can't help myself. Okay. Did you want to take a stab in guessing?
I was like, I need you to do it again. I don't even think I know. I don't even have a remote clue. Do it again.
You thought I was feeding you? Bitch, wait on the bus. Bitch is a vacuum. She wanted some lunch. Bitches want beef, but I'm up in the steakhouse.
What?
I'm sorry. Okay, just imagine this to the beat of Munch. That's what you have to hear.
That's what I was getting, but I was like,
this is not a real song, okay? Somebody made this up on TikTok.
okay. I was like, what the fuck?
I just thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so funny because they made this up after Cleopatra, had posted about her experience. It's like they're going to the steakhouse and they left her on the bus.
And then-
And she could eat nothing. Oh my God. Okay, we're not gonna jump the gun because we will get there.
Yo, I can't.
Okay,
I can't believe that was a trick. That was a trick, actually.
It was okay. Yeah, it was a trick. It was a little bit of a trick, but I just couldn't help myself. I heard that on TikTok, and I was like, "Oh, I have to do this. I got to." Okay, your turn.
All right. Okay. I'll start here. I'm trying to make sure it doesn't give it away. I love it when my life's like this. I love it when my ice look crisp. I love it when my clothes smell fresh. I love it when my fans speak French. I love it when they like my fits. I love it how up high my tits now. I love the way my man throwing dick.
Oh,
I
this
love
is
my
Doja Cat.
lips. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is Doja Cat.
What song?
It's from Scarlet.
Yes.
I know
correct.
the song.
Okay.
I have to go through the track list because off the top of my head, I don't know, but I know the song. Hold on.
Okay.
It's Scarlet. This is. This is
so
Love.
unserious.
Is it Love Life?
Yeah, it's a Love Life.
Not one of my favorites from the album, but
I had just heard it
definitely
for the first time.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah, I heard it for the first time, or
You're
I guess
you a fake ass
rediscovered.
fan, bitch.
Or-
You didn't
I
listen
guess
to the album. You
I
don't
guess
really, you
not.
don't really fuck with her.
Anyway, I was like, oh, I enjoyed this.
You know what gave it away? When you said how high my tits sit up now, because I remember she was talking about how she got a boob job.
Ah.
After she lost all that weight, she got a boob job.
Ah.
She had like a lift.
Good for her.
I would like a lift. I would like a reduction and then
Reduction
a
lift, yeah.
a reduction lift combo. But I've heard that like women who've had like breast reductions and then got pregnant just ballooned.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's what I'm
no
like.
way.
I would have to do it after post kid.
Post maybe like a couple. Because I don't really. If I'm like, I don't know if after one I'm gonna be ready. Because I'm like, well, what if it happens again? I can't. So
No, either.
Mind you, no nigga is sight. Nobody's getting me pregnant right now. I'm just planning ahead.
We're ahead of time, so they know.
Listen, if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
Get ready.
Okay?
All right.
Okay, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Where My Girls At. It is fall.
It is fall.
It is fall, but it's really not fall. Okay.
I don't want it to be fall. I think I'm in denial. Like it's gotten cooler here in
what's that like?
in DC, and I'm just like, I'm not ready. We did a cookout.
Ready.
We did a cookout yesterday, and I was like, I'm still on this type of vibe. Like, I'm not ready to transition to pumpkin flannels now.
I don't want none of that shit. Keep your pumpkin spice in your UGG boots, bitch. I want my ass out and my titties out and be on the beach drinking a pina colada out of a fucking pineapple cut open, bitch. I love the summer.
I'm not ready. Yeah.
I love the summer and I'm not ready to let it go.
I'm not ready to let it go.
Luckily, I live in Los Angeles. So I don't have to really let that shit go.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
really
okay.
let that shit go until like October, maybe early November. But you never know with climate change. It's really been hitting us hard. This has been sponsored by the National. Kidding. Okay. How are you? Your hair's done different.
Thank
you.
You.
Look cute.
Thank you.
I just saw on Instagram you celebrated your 2-year anniversary.
I did.
How exciting.
Still
no ring?
No ring.
Okay.
No ring. Just promises.
Okay. We're waiting. I'm waiting for the day. I can't wait.
You and a lot of my other friends, but
I can't wait.
2 years, it's been good. And I've been doing a lot of traveling. I was in Costa Rica for a bachelorette trip, which was really fun. I got sunburned for the first time.
Oh my god!
I didn't know
that shit is not a joke. It's no joke.
I didn't know it was a thing.
I got sunburned too. I got burned on my nose. When I went to Aruba, I got burned all around my mouth. Like it was peeling all around my mouth. Bitch, it's no fucking joke. I see why white people be. I see what they go through now. I have felt your pain. I have felt your pain.
Yeah, so PSA. If you go down south and closer to the equator, the sun is a lot more powerful, and really you have to reapply.
Is.
But yeah, did that. Was in New York. Went to the U.S. Open.
Oh my god!
I got
How
to see
was
some.
that?
It was fun.
Were there any black people playing?
Yeah. So
Period.
this Taylor Townsend, she was really incredible. She was probably my favorite match to watch. And then I saw Taylor Fritz, who went to the finals. I don't know if he ended up winning, but saw him play. And then I got to treat my mom out to being out at the park. So it was a lot of fun. How about you? You've been doing some traveling too.
I did. I was in Europe for a little bit.
Yes, a Euro moment.
A Euro summer moment. I had the best time. I was in Lisbon for the week. And Lisbon was incredible. I went there. Really, I had only been researching it for like the summer, to prep for the trip. We just randomly decided we were going to go to Lisbon because we'd never been to Portugal. Oh my God, the food was fucking incredible.
What's like the cuisine like? Like
fish,
what's their
seafood, potatoes, beans? Like it's very like like slave food.
I was gonna say, I think at the minimum, like every country has that. Yeah. It's meat, rice, insert vegetables, and then maybe like a plantain or something like that.
Yeah, it was really, really like the food was amazing. Food was incredible. And then we took a day trip to Madrid, which because it was like so close that it was like maybe like an hour flight from Lisbon. Madrid was fun. It was cool. We had a great time. I don't think I need to go back. As we know, you guys don't know because you listen to this, you don't watch it. I have huge titties. Like I have triple D's, and I have since maybe I was in like the 7th grade, probably before then.
Damn.
And
really?
I wore this little like tank top. It wasn't too revealing. But it was like the whole country was staring at me. Like they had never seen a bitch with big ass. Like, y'all don't know a bad bitch when you see one. Y'all ain't never seen a bitch with triple D's. Everywhere. I was getting stares all day long. And then we were just relaxing in the park before our dinner reservation. There was a man behind us on the grass masturbating. Yes! Masturbating in a public park. And so I saw it and I stood up and I was immediately like, Oh my, at first I was looking at it like, what is that in his hand? And then I realized what it was. But the crazy thing is, we're speaking English, so nobody
else.
Nobody around us in Madrid is like, oh, like the pervert, because there was a park like maybe 500 feet away, maybe less. But nobody knows why I'm screaming. Nobody, because they don't understand what I'm saying. So the man just gets up and he runs away, masturbating before my dinner.
What?
In front of my salad?
That is insane.
Anyway, Madrid was really wonderful other than that. I had a great time. Lisbon, though, oh my God, I love Lisbon so much. I love Portugal. We took a day trip to Sintra as well, which is like where the beaches are in Portugal. And we got to see this like incredible castle. But girl, them motherfucking hills, everything's up a hill. Everything's up a hill. When I tell you, we were walking maybe 20,000 steps a day. Most of it was uphill.
Of course.
But I had the best like food. And the craziest part about it, and I didn't know this about Lisbon, it is cheap as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my
That's why
God.
a lot of people have been going, yeah.
So cheap. I had no idea. I was shopping until my heart, I was shopping to my heart's content. And Lord knows I love to shop. So I had a really, really great time. I really needed that break. I needed a little vacation.
Yeah, a little getaway.
Just a little getaway.
I love it.
Back. It's fall. I'm back in the full swing of things. I'm ready. Excuse me. As you can see, I'm clearly hyped up right now. It's because I just came from the gym, and that's why I'm wearing this headband, because my wig glue came loose. Now that's neither here nor there. Let's get into some hot topics.
I was about to say, there was a lot going on.
Cocaine Bear is back on the loose. Cocaine Bear is back on the loose, okay?
You better watch yourself.
Okay. I know. They're gonna get me. They're gonna get me. They don't listen to this. So Kendrick Lamar, recently it was announced that he was going to headline the Super Bowl this year.
Yep.
And he becomes like the first rapper in history to ever headline the Super Bowl solo. And he's the only rapper to ever headline the Super Bowl or ever perform at the Super Bowl twice. The only rapper. And it's happening in New Orleans. So naturally, when it was announced that the Super Bowl was happening in New Orleans, everybody was like, oh, this is the perfect time. Like Lil Wayne will perform.
Yeah.
You know, the Hot Boys, Cash Money is going to perform.
That's what I thought.
But then it was announced that Kendrick was going to. So now, you know, Nicki Minaj took a real good line. Like, and then immediately got on Twitter and starts, like, just going. Everybody was going crazy about this. My thing is, and then we'll get to Nicki Minaj. My thing is like, they're all blaming Jay-Z, like, Rock Nation, you will crumble. Rock Nation did this. But he is only the co-producer. Like, he doesn't have a final say. It's the city who's hosting the Super Bowl that gets the final say of who performs. So they clearly didn't want Weezy F Baby, and the F is for phenomenal. They didn't want his ass. So maybe you should take that up with him or the city of New Orleans, because they didn't want him to perform. And now here's the crazy part. There was no way that that Kendrick's not gonna bring him out the Super Bowl before all of this happened.
Yeah.
Now,
right.
Because of course he loves Lil Wayne. He cited him as like an inspiration. He looks up to him and everything. But everybody like come into his defense when Lil Wayne is out in Miami on his skateboard, singular dread flowing in the wind. Like he is not. I'm sure he's upset about it. Of course he's upset about it.
I would imagine, yeah.
But to think that in 2024 it was gonna be Lil Wayne, I think is crazy. I really do.
That's okay. I can see what you're saying based off of the year. Yes, like it's kind of wild to assume, but I'm like, his catalog is so deep.
If that's the case, then why it's the Super Bowl's happened in New Orleans like 10 times. Why they didn't call him then? He's been an icon, a legend, cemented at the Mount Rushmore for like over a decade. Why haven't they called him? Why didn't they call him when it was peak Lil Wayne season? 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. Nobody called him then? Why now?
That's fair.
Everybody so pissed about the fact that they didn't call him?
That's fair. That's fair.
This is not the first time they've hosted the Super Bowl.
I mean, that's true. I don't know. I don't know. I was rooting for him to do it.
It was never going to happen.
but I understand the timing as well. Like,
it was never going to happen.
Kendrick is riding, the wave of, like, I think obviously he's a talented performer, and I think that's probably a big difference maker as well, is that he is a performer. Like, he has an experience versus Lil Wayne,
who can't remember any of his song lyrics.
I get it, but
I mean, here's the thing: love Lil Wayne,
right?
Always gonna
love him down.
He's the GOAT for a reason. It was never gonna be him, even if it wasn't Kendrick. I'm sorry, it wasn't. It was never gonna be him, even if it wasn't Kendrick. Now, me personally, as we know, a stan.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm like, how the fuck can I get to New Orleans? Whose dick do I have to suck to get in a box in New Orleans? Because I will unlock my jaw to get into.
Oh my God.
I will get locked jaw. I will do some things because I want to be there. I want to see it. I didn't get to see. I didn't get to Beyonce when she performed both times, bitch. I would have loved that. So there's that. But the problem is Nicki. Like, here's what she said. And I just think whatever beef she has with Jay-Z and Beyonce, like, baby, say their names or keep it on the playground. Because this dancing around this shit, it can only go so far. She's, like, denying a young black man. Lil Wayne is, like, 50.
It's not,
what he rightful put into this game for no other reason but your ego. Your hatred for Birdman, Drake, and Nicki got you punishing Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, the GOAT. Nola, what's good? Eminem stood firm on having 50 Cent come out. A white man. Shit sad. House nigger tings. But it's good for them. No loyalty? Well, them niggas will keep sunning you. Hashtag DTLR. Hashtag Gag City DC. LMFAO. Good as Fidegal. I don't know what the fuck she said.
I don't know what that means.
The point is that she was very upset. She's very upset. She's been tweeting about him all day. Like, she's been tweeting about Jay-Z all fucking day, and she's had to tweet and delete like several things because girl
wait, so like, how is Jay-Z responsible for this? Like,
for what specifically?
You're saying Jay-Z is like responsible, or like, for taking Kendrick Lamar?
Well, Rock Nation has like taken over, like producing, like co-producing the halftime show every year. So it's like, people think that, well, he has the final say, but really his team just gives him a short list of people. So ever since they've taken over, like, it's been nothing but black people who've headlined, as it rightfully should be. I mean, look at us white. They don't do the same. They don't do it as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, white people don't do the halftime show as well. So, but it's crazy for Nicki to say this, because it's only Black Lives Matter when she is on, when somebody has hurt her, when somebody has, it's only like, oh, those people are going against the queen. They don't support black women, when it's her who's on the wrong side of things. And she is often on the wrong side of things. Side of things. Child, what's baffling to me, and I think baffling is the wrong word, because honestly, I think it's quite admirable. How the fuck are you a full-time mom on a world tour, sold out
world tour,
still have time to get high as a motherfucking kite and get allegedly, and get on your phone and tweet the most ridiculous when does she have the time? And she's allegedly recording a deluxe album that was supposed to drop this week. But you know how she does, and I knew there was no way that album was dropping this week. I knew there was no way that the deluxe of Pink Friday 2 was dropping this week. And speaking of that, well, before we move on to that, I want to know, do you have any thoughts on Cocaine Bear?
No
Cocaine
thoughts.
Bear 2, The Return.
The Return. No thoughts. I mean, I can understand why she's upset, because she obviously rides for Lil Wayne.
Girl, she wanted to go out there and perform Bedrock. That's what it was. She wanted to go out there and perform Best You Ever Had remix. She wanted to go out there and do Make You. No, bitch.
Roger that.
Roger. She wanted to go out there and perform Roger That. Y'all think they finna bring Tyga out here? Tyga? Lil Twist and Jacquees? That's who y'all want to bring out on the motherfucking stage at the Super Bowl, bitch?
At the Super Bowl?
Get the fuck out of here.
Anyway, we can move on.
Nicki did announce that there was a deluxe to Pink Friday 2 that was coming. and she said it was coming September 13th. I knew the second she tweeted that it was not coming September 13th. Because listen, let me tell you, I may tell you a joke, I never tell you a lie. That bitch will never release an album when she says she will. I knew it was only a matter of time. But my thing is, how can you release a deluxe to an album that's 57 songs long?
Actually, though, like, what else do you have? What else do you have to say?
What I would love to know, because she ain't said nothing different in like 5 years. Nothing new has been said by Nicki Minaj. I feel like Pink Friday 2, yeah, I enjoyed it. Some of the songs I replay a lot. Not as much as I did when it first dropped, but some of the songs...
I don't think I replay it.
Some of the songs I still put on like my gym playlist and shit like that, so I still replay them. My thing is, what else? Like, why are you dragging this shit? Like, girl, we don't want to hear this shit no more.
Sid, we're good.
We're good. We're actually so full. We don't need any more Pink Friday 2, Nicki.
Right.
Let's move on to the next thing. What's the next album? When is Heavy on it? Where's the label is being held together by sticks and staples and glue and Elmer's glue. That is all that is holding up the walls of Heavy on it. One of the artists has already been dropped. The other artists are releasing music videos that look like Tubi movies. I think that's where your focus should be.
Yep. Not on tweeting. Not on a deluxe.
This bitch must got more hours in the day than us. Cause I don't get it. It don't make no motherfucking sense.
I get.
I went, like, I'm not gonna say dated. I went on a date and then I hooked up with this one guy who like works in like production or whatever. And this is allegedly. And I was telling him, he's like, I think he said something along the lines of like, you have such a great voice. Like, have you ever thought about podcasting? And usually I don't tell men about our show. Like, okay, you don't know me and I don't want you to know me that way. Like, this is personal. This is for my girls. Like, I don't know you. You know, you're a stranger. But I think I had like 2 drinks. So I was like, oh, actually, that's the podcast. And I was sure by this point that I was going to sleep with him. So I was like, let's just open up. Let's talk. I host this podcast. About like, you know, Black women in hip hop or whatever. He's like, that's amazing. Who are some of your favorites? So of course I name her. He's like, I can't stand that bitch. He said, I hate her. I was like, why? What did she do? He said that he worked on a shoot of hers once and she was so motherfucking high that they did not cancel the shoot. And like, it was only supposed to be like a 12-hour shoot, but because she was so high off of downers or uppers or something, she refused to come out of her dressing room, so she made them stay on set for like 22 hours to finish the one video shoot because she was so motherfucking high she could not stand. And she
oh my god!
Oh my god, girl, niggas hate her apparently.
Crazy.
One of my friends who worked had a friend who worked for her during the Queen era said it was the worst thing that he has ever done. He said that on set, she don't even allow niggas to look her in the eye. She will only speak to the director of the music video and no one else is allowed to talk to Nicki Minaj. And I said, you know what?
Wow.
Again, alleged. Coming from niggas who was there, but it's all alleged. I don't know. But the thing is like, I just don't know how much more the universe can take from Nicki Minaj. For it's like, all right, bitch, we got to put you on a shelf somewhere. She needs to go into a treatment center. She need a 30-day detox off of whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It's good. Maybe 90, you know? Fuck it. Let's make it 6 months. She needs to go away. I don't need to hear from her.
Needs to, yeah. Just
see her.
Finish out the tour.
The album, I guess. Because if she's gonna do it. And then go away.
We'll pick it up again next year.
Yeah, we'll try again next year, Nikki. Let's try to have a good 2025. Let's try to have a good 2025. Because you're dragging it at this point, bitch. I mean, damn, just call Jay-Z and say, fuck you. Like, you ain't got the nigga number? Like, I'm sick of it. Just tell him you want to fight him. Tell him to meet you at the park. Well, your husband can't meet. Tell him to meet you somewhere that your husband can travel. And let's just settle it. Like, niggas is doing all this back and forth talking. Let's just fight.
Let's just fight.
Let's just fucking fight, bitch. Like, what else? I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Should we move on to something? I feel like we should talk about this because it's really sad. But Also, this was funny. So Rich Homie Quan died recently, and so random.
So random.
So random and deeply, like, devastating.
Mhm.
And, I mean, like, we've talked, I mean, he was only, like, what, 34?
Yeah,
He's only
yeah.
34 years old and has died of an overdose. And it's just, I mean, I could talk all day about drugs and hip hop and the way that it just runs rampant through this community, and like,
Right.
how, you know, black men and should grow old, and you lose our legends so young and all of that. I mean, it's just devastating, you know? Like, I feel like this nigga was a huge part of the soundtrack of my, like, high school and college career.
I was about to say, yeah.
You know, like, it's so sad, you know?
No, it was definitely shocking when I heard about it, but I was just like, dang, yeah, like, not that I, like, return to Rich Homie Quan's, like, music often,
but if it comes
but it's
on,
it's like, it definitely takes you back to that time.
It really
in
does.
your life.
It's nostalgia.
Yeah.
But one thing for sure, two things for certain, even in death, niggas will have the audacity. So since his, you know, untimely passing, several women have come out of the woodwork.
I was like, it was like several.
Several women have come out of the woodwork to say that they were in romantic relationships with him, aside from his baby mama, who he was with. One of those women happened to be Erica Banks' silly booty ass. Now, she had the nerve. I'm gonna actually pull this up. Let me pull this up, because I want to read it. She said, all you wanted was to find happiness again. I always saw it in your face and heard it in your voice, but you had so much left to do. The album, the tour, your birthday. I'm just glad we were able to enjoy such peaceful and memorable moments while you were here, man. Such a sweetheart. Rest in paradise, Quan. Let me tell you this. If I am with a nigga and I find him dead, and I was in love with that man, we had built a life together, and another bitch comes out of the several come out of the woodwork to say he was messing around behind my back, bury that nigga loose. I'm not paying for shit. Drop him in the hole, and we gonna go about our motherfucking day. Are you out of your mind?
Okay, I think what really got me, though, is the justification that a lot of these women were doing. Like, the posting of, like, the text messages.
You had to post the text messages?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it just feels so inhumane. And I'm like, it's like you had something to prove. Like,
for what, though? What is the prize? You're not getting anything. What is the prize here?
Exactly.
Now,
so that's why it's, like, very performative.
It is performative. Because
I don't like it.
No, of course not. Of course not. Because you have sense.
Yeah.
You have sense. My thing is, if you were going to be the side chick, I mean, hey, go about do what you have to do what's your calling. But baby, like he was fucking you in private, grieve in private. We don't want to hear none of that shit. Come on now. She had to know what she was doing. They had to know this was wrong as hell. This was just stupid. I'm not saying she's not allowed to grieve.
Of course,
because if you had a connection with him, I mean, sure, I don't condone cheating, but fuck it. If you were in love, y'all had a connection, fine. But bitch, you don't have to let us know.
Yeah.
We are no more the better for you telling us this.
Not at all.
I just don't get that.
I didn't get it.
Should we talk about Ice Spice and Cleotrapa?
Okay, who's Cleotrapa?
So Cleotrapa is, like, she's the girl. You probably know her best from all of her memes. Like, she went viral. Like, went viral, has gone viral on the internet so many times. But she's recently, I think, started a music career in the past couple years, and she makes like cute music. If you saw her picture, you'd be like, "Oh,
okay, yeah,
yeah." I know exactly who this is.
Yep.
You'd be like, "I know exactly who this is." And apparently, Ice had invited her on tour. And once the tour was over, and we talked about how the budget for this tour was like 2 packs of Slim Jims and that was it. That's
a flip phone,
and that was the whole budget. So Cleopatra was talking about how poorly she was treated
Okay.
during this tour, saying like Ice was supposed to be her friend, and apparently this bitch, like, child, they said she didn't lock them on the bus. It's a slave ship. They at the steakhouse eating steak, spinach, cream corn, and she got to walk 20 miles to get a burger, get a McDouble, and ain't nobody carry her bags. This bitch is the roadie on the road. And like she can't even sleep. She get kicked out the room, and now she gotta sit outside with a cup because ain't nobody paying her. And I mean, 2 pennies. She ain't got shit to rub together. Ain't no room on the butt. Like, girl, she was talking about how she was so mistreated by Ice Spice on this tour.
Yeah.
So I want to know, what did you think about all of this?
I don't know. Like, low key, I can't believe it. There has to be some truth in it. Like, I think there's 2 sides of the story, and then there's like the truth in the middle.
Yeah.
So I think there has to be she might have exaggerated possibly, but I'm sure that Ice Spice has done her dirty in some ways more than the other.
Yeah. I believe her. I don't think that she's lying. I fully believe everything she's saying. Fully believe everything.
She has nothing to lose.
She has nothing to lose by lying. And Ice Spice also, like, from the text message she showed us, calling her a bum and all that shit. Oh girl, you are wrong as hell for that. My thing is, I think in some parts, like when she was talking about how like she just wanted to hang out with Ice, and Ice just wanted to be alone, and she didn't even want to play Uno with her.
Aw.
And like she wouldn't let her back in the bedroom. And I'm like, and Ice Spice was like, well, girl, can I just play with my pussy? Like, maybe I just want to be in my room alone, masturbating. Okay, sure, fine.
Sure.
Sure, fine. Nothing wrong with that. I think on that note, like, Ice Spice is not wrong in wanting to be alone, like,
and having alone time. Yeah,
having alone time.
She's around people all day.
But it's absolutely crazy to say that your security guard cannot carry her fucking luggage, putting her luggage out of your room, making her carry shit to the bus, leaving her on the bus to starve for hours because you wanted to go, and everybody had a meal in secret. And
that's messed
why
up.
you gotta go to the steakhouse in secret. Just say, bitch, you're not invited.
You're invited. I can make arrangements. Why y'all
sneak into the steakhouse? But I'm like, come on now. That's so petty. And I mean, like, on the one hand, like, she's wrong as hell. And I think maybe, Cleopatra is right. Maybe Ice Spice is dark and she has a demon in her or something like that. On the other hand, I just think she's 24 and a bitch. And I mean, and haven't we all been there?
Low key. Yeah.
Haven't we all been there?
Yeah.
Haven't we all? I'm not saying anything she did is right.
Justified, but she's a child.
And then when people were like talking about this on Twitter and stuff, they were like, yeah, that's pretty common. That's pretty much how all opening artists are treated on like a first tour. And
really?
Said, yeah, and I think that's the bigger problem here. Is why do we allow this treatment to go on?
Yeah, the disrespect.
And most people don't say anything because there's so much more to lose than there is to gain by saying these kinds of things.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that Cleopatra's main resource is income is not music, because who knows what this could do?
Yeah.
How it could fuck her up. I just thought the whole thing was fucking crazy.
No, it's wild. I feel like Ice Spice has been like on a
downward. Yeah, she's
she's been sliding a little bit,
slipping and sliding. All of her own doing though.
Yeah,
I don't feel bad for her at all. Okay, should we talk about? So Megan Thee Stallion was on the cover of Billboard. I think she won like the Billboard Power Player of the Year, or what is it called?
That sounded right.
Something like one of the things that they give every year. And on the one hand, like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Who else could they have given it to this year?
Listen,
maybe Glorilla, but I think she's really the only other rapper or really even singer who's been working as hard as Meg this year.
No, literally, she's everywhere.
So what did you think of this article?
No, I thought it was good. It was I liked reading about it because it was right after her Broccoli City performance, actually.
Yes.
And it was just talking about how, like, I think it was really cool to hear how she thinks about like her partnerships and like how she is like really embracing like her independence, especially
I love that.
like being apart from her only, or like being able to have her control over her music and her, I guess, her destiny in some ways.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed reading about how she's like taking this independence, how she's building up her persona even more. And there was one part in the article which I really liked where she was like, yo, like people keep like coming after me, and it's like, obviously I'm doing something right that people are trying to keep shooting upwards at me.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
true.
I was like,
that's true.
I was like, yeah. So that's what I thought.
I have to agree. You know, especially the part in the article, and I wrote this down, like she talked about her brand deals. She was like, I'm proud of all my business deals because everything I do is personal to me. I put 100% into my partnerships, and I'm always so grateful when people want to step into my world. When I see a brand I fucked with and they want to come into the hot girl world, I'm like, thank you. This makes sense. I love that you're recognizing me as much as I was already recognizing you. I think this is so interesting because, like, she's had a crazy run of brand deals this year. Like, it's been insane. And what I see a lot for people who dislike her is like, oh, she's doing all these brand deals because don't nobody care about her music. She's doing all these brand deals because she needs to make money and all this stuff. And that kind of thing kills me. Coming from, especially from Nicki Minaj and her fan base, that kind of thing kills me. Because flashback to 2013, 2012, baby, they slapped Nicki Minaj's name and face on every product they could put on shelves. Birdman was living and eating good off of that bitch. And nobody said anything. But how quickly we forget. How short our memories can be when it comes to somebody, when it comes to a bitch you don't like, period. But I just thought that was so crazy because, like, why should she not get a fucking bag?
Yeah, why not? If she has the access.
We all know they'll make no fucking money for music. We all know that these streaming services is not paying them the way that they should be. So get a motherfucking bag. Like, I fully support this. I fully support this. Another thing that I really loved in this article is when she teased, like, I don't know, maybe they were just trolling, but she teased like a collab project potentially with Glow. I want to know, what do you think about that?
Yes, please. Like,
absolutely. Okay, like, absolutely.
Like, yes, please. Like,
give me I want it now.
Yeah,
I want it
why
now.
not?
Put it in my hands, please.
Yeah,
right the fuck now. I want it today.
Can you imagine? I
actually can. I fully can. And it doesn't need to be like 12 songs. It can be like 5 or 6 good ones. 5 or 6 good songs, and they go back on tour. I want it now.
Yeah.
Literally. I want it now. Okay, so Doechii was on the cover of Paper magazine.
Yo,
she's so fucking funny.
That cover,
she is so motherfucking funny. They said she sat getting prosthetics done for 4 hours for that one like cover shot, and I said that sounds exactly like something that this artist would do. Like, she's just so theatrical and so extra, and I love that. And that's something she even talked about in the article. Like, she was talking about how, like, she calls herself a thespian. And, like, as a person who's also a thespian, I just think those people make the best kind of rappers. Like, you should not be too full of yourself to act a fucking clown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, get out there. Like, you have to, and, like, I just love that about Doechii. Like, I love that she's, like, well, number one, she says she's working on her debut album. And I really love that. And I want to know, like, what do you want to hear from Doechii as far as her debut album is concerned?
I mean, like, if it was anything like this, like, I want to hear more of, like, the honesty. I love she had, I don't know, we'll talk more about it, I guess, in the new music, but, like, it was such a great balance of, like, hey, I'm going through this, but, like, hey, I'm still, like, a bad bitch, and, like, I like to, like, do things. So I would like more of that. Like, honestly, after listening to that, the mixtape, I became more of a fan of, like, okay, I get it. Like, I get her, like, eclecticness. I get the, like, the switch up of, like, she talks a lot about, like, the personas and, like, the Paper magazine interview. And I'm like, okay, I understand, like, kind of how I got a little bit of a better peek into her head of how she thinks about music and how she shows up.
Yeah, and I love that. I really do love that. One thing and that was so interesting to me in this article, she's talking about how, like, she was really depressed after the success of What It Is, and how everybody kept pressuring her to make a hit. And so then people just kind of, like, so she just kind of, like, retreated into herself And I hate that. I really hate that. And this whole thing about like how artists need to be consistently making hits and it needs to, you know, go viral and all that stuff, it really upsets me because I feel like that's the kind of rhetoric that people have been talking surrounding like Cardi, surrounding like Glorilla, surrounding like Sexy Red, and about how like, oh, these women are falling off because, you know, they haven't put out a song that's like as big as their biggest hit. And it's like, I don't like that is what music has become.
Yeah.
Because that's not what it's about. Every song is not going to be a banger. You know what I mean?
Literally.
Some songs like Doechii does with her Swamp Sessions are just going to be exercises. I can really write. I can really spit. I can really be this artist. Like, I just want to release music. Yeah. And I wish there wasn't all this pressure behind that. So I appreciate her like being open about that because that shit sucks. And so I'm really glad that she was honest about that. And then what came out of it was in fact like the Swamp Sessions, you know, and her bringing that back full force in like preparation to release this mixtape, which I just think is so amazing, you know, like I really love that. Yeah. Okay, what else? Megan Thee Stallion has a new boyfriend.
Oh, well, yeah.
And you know what? I'm happy for her.
Me too.
Apparently, he's a basketball player. He plays for the Chicago Bulls. But apparently he's no good. Like they call him a bench player. Like, okay. And so apparently, like everybody's pissed about that she is dating a nigga who rides the bench. My thing is, he's not a rapper. He has a job. I just don't like that his name is Tory. I don't understand why do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that.
That's the only thing that gets you.
But you know, good for her.
No, I'm happy for her. I'm glad the girl is finding love.
Yeah, she deserves it. She's also hosting the VMAs.
I know. I'm so interested to see how that's going to go down.
I'm interested to see what she'd be like as a host.
Yeah, I feel like, again, her exposure just keeps widening over time, and I'm interested to see how she's gonna do.
I'm interested to see how she's going to do. I think it's going to be a little bit easier because there's no writer's strike, so they can actually have writers in the writer's room creating writing stuff, because last year was a fucking hot ass mess, and I think they just let Nicki Minaj get up there and do whatever the fuck she wanted. But even if they had writers, but they didn't have writers. Like, that's the whole thing. And so I think it's going to be a little bit different this year. My only thing is I don't really care to watch the VMAs anymore. The only reason I would watch I'm going to watch is because of Megan. But it's it's kind of it's not what it used to be. You know, we've talked about this many times. Like, the VMAs just isn't what it once was. You know,
right?
For it's lost its glory. Do we want to talk about any more of this, or should we just move into new music?
Yeah, we can move on to new music. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So, Sexy Red released a new song, You Know What to Do. We have a lot of new music. We have new Sexy Red, Flo Milli, Lola Brooke, Erica Banks, Sweetie, a lot of Glorilla, a ton of it.
A lot of Skilla Baby, whoever that is.
Skilla Baby. That's Caribou's Tethered.
Tethered?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Did you see the movie Us by Jordan Peele?
No, actually.
Okay, so then you wouldn't get it. That's Caribou's evil twin.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just go down the list. Let's talk about it, and then we can save the mixtapes for last. Okay, what did you think of the Sexy Red song?
I was all right.
You didn't like it. You didn't like it.
Yeah, it was just okay.
You know.
Did you like it?
No, it's so. I feel the song was fun, but it wasn't special. The chorus was great. It's solid. It's okay, but I don't see myself returning to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's I feel like I have a little bit of Sexy Red fatigue right now.
Yeah,
is that fair? I don't know. I was with the bow, bow, but now I'm just maybe
let's relax.
Not.
Let's turn it down a little bit.
I'm gonna catch you next summer.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I feel that way.
I think that's why I was just kind of All right, I'm
Okay, what else? What's next? Okay, what about Flo Milli? Flo Milli released the song "Wet Dreams" featuring Coop G.
I thought it was like anticlimactic. Like
This
it
one
was
felt
just,
like, yeah, it was
it
forgettable.
was just like, yeah, it was just like a kind
throwaway.
of background music. Background music.
Definitely it was a throwaway.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the Lola Brooke featuring Jeremiah song? No One Else.
It was fine.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm like, is this? I was like, is this what Lola? Okay, I was like, is this what Lola Brooks? Is this her lane of
I don't
like,
know.
you know,
I don't think she knows
remixing
either.
90s music?
Yeah.
And like,
See, but
insert like R&B man.
See, but my thing is, like, if she's gonna do that, she should lean into it. I don't feel like she's fully committed to that.
That's what I'm saying.
And so it feels very half-assed. The whole thing of it feels very half-assed, which I don't like. Okay. What about the Rock Your Hips remix featuring Sweetie?
Right? Did I listen to the song? I feel like I did. Is this when she was on like a golf cart?
Yeah.
Or yeah. Okay. I thought it was cute. I enjoyed it.
I like this one.
I enjoyed it.
I like this one. It's like every time she almost loses me,
she always finds a way to reel you back in.
You know what, bitch?
Maybe she's not that bad.
You know what, bitch? You might got one or two in you. Okay, what about the Rob 49 Mama featuring Glorilla and Skilla Baby, and then the Show That Work, Glorilla and Rob 49 finesse 2 times. Ooh, baby, they got some names, don't they?
They do.
These niggas got
we
some
sound
names.
old as hell. We sound old as hell.
These niggas got some names, okay?
Honestly, like the whole like, I think when you had talked about how like Lotto refers to herself as like Big Mama, like it really stuck with me from that point forward.
I hate it.
And like this song was very cringe to me.
I hate it. Do not call yourself Mama ever. Come on. Don't ask me to call you Daddy. Ew.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And for that reason, I'm out on this song.
Very cut it. Cut the fucking tape. Yeah. I don't want it.
I don't want it.
What about Chicken Grease? This was Lotto's late ad to Sugar Honey Iced Tea.
I enjoyed it. I was like, ooh.
Thoroughly enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did she leave this off of the album?
I don't know why she lived. Because I was going through the album. I didn't realize it was a late ad because I was like, I don't remember hearing this.
No, I didn't. I would have remembered it had I heard it.
And I was just like, okay.
Oh, this bitch is like doing her thing. She's on a run right now.
She's on a run.
My complaint is very like 2000s coded, is like, bitch, you don't drop an album then go on vacation. No. You drop an album and you get out there in the motherfucking streets, bitch. You're on every radio station. You're at every place where you can do a live performance. They're booking you here, there, and everywhere. Bitch, you need to be in the motherfucking field about this shit. The problem is these niggas want us to do the work. Get in the motherfucking field in front of people and promote this album. You should not be on vacation. You should know what a vacation is when an album just dropped, bitch. Get your ass in those leopard panties back to the States, okay? And get back in the field.
I'm weak. Shorty can't go on vacation.
No, you cannot go on vacation after you drop an album. The work is only half done. The promotion doesn't stop. This is why they were shooting niggas up with propofol and all that shit and everything, because they were just constant. And I'm not, like, we shouldn't overwork ourselves, okay? I understand that. But my thing is, baby, you can't just be tweeting every now and then. And that's how we promote the album. Go to the radio stations. Go on the shows. Why are you not on magazine covers? Why are you not performing on, late night with Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or some shit? Like, you need to be somewhere doing all types of activations for this album. Like, it doesn't need to stop because it dropped. No, now is when you go into overdrive. You know? And that's my problem. That's my problem.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take. No, I see that. That though.
And then Megan dropped Never Play featuring RM from what is the
BTS?
band? BTS. Okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of this one?
I enjoyed it. It like sounded like another like song that would have been on the album. Like it felt the same.
Yeah, I think it really was fine. It was catchy. I feel like she doesn't really disappoint. I hope that one day she has her own anime.
That would be really cool.
I really do. Okay, should we talk about the mixtapes?
Yeah. Oh wait. So okay, I didn't listen to Erica Banks. I realized I just didn't listen to hers, but I did listen to Dochi's.
I listened to Erica Banks' mixtape, so I'll just say like a couple things about it.
What that?
So it's called "Cocky on Purpose 2." I think ultimately, I really didn't hate it. I didn't hate this mixtape, and it kind of made me realize like Erica Banks is not untalented. Like I just feel like sometimes she sounds like a one-trick pony, you know. But I do think as far as mixtapes goes, this was pretty solid, you know? Like, I think there's so much more she could do if she worked on her craft and she stayed off of that Surge's table. She got to focus, okay?
She has to focus.
I like this better than I like Ice Spice's album Y2K.
I
think it's better. I think it's better. I'm not saying it's great. I'm probably give it like a 5 out of 10, maybe a 5.5 out of 10. But I think that like she needs to do more promotion. I understand she's embroiled in scandal at the moment, but once she's no longer doing that, I think she needs to go and do like all types of shit for this like little tape. Like I don't think it's bad. Like I think it's a pretty good tape, you know?
Okay, cool. I'll have to give it a listen.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Okay, let's talk about Alligator Bites Never Heal. Should we do standouts first while we download it?
Yeah, so I had Boiled Peanuts, Denial is a River, Catfish, Boom Bap, and GTFO.
Okay.
And then Nissan Altima.
Right, I had a Nissan Altima also. I had Bullfrog, Denial is a River, Catfish, Wait, Get the Fuck Out, and Fireflies as my downloads from the album. Okay, so then what were your thoughts about it? And then we can do like our ratings last.
Sure. Yeah, I felt like it was comprehensive. Like it had a story. I feel like I enjoyed like the interludes in it, and like I don't know. Like again, I wouldn't say I was a Doechii fan, like a huge Doechii fan, like prior to this album. But I was like, oh, like she has range. Like she can like talk about like what she's going through. She has like a conscious, I guess, side of her, if you will. But she also is able to like make the hit makers as well. Now you're like, oh, I could play this like in a club if I wanted to.
Absolutely.
So I really enjoyed. I was surprised. I think pleasantly surprised listening to the mixtape.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good. I love that you're pleasantly surprised. I just like love because there's been like all this discourse. I know you're not super on Twitter anymore, nor should you be. It's a hellscape, but I am. I feel like there's just been this whole discourse around the album about how like there's Doechii so refreshing. She doesn't rap about her pussy, and she's not one of these hoe female rappers. And like we needed somebody like that's what the men have been saying.
That's what the discourse has been.
Yes, and I'm like, girl, for what? Get a fucking job. My thing is like I think I love the intro, and I think the choice of beats and like the slow cadence and when she's rapping, it's deceptive. And she really fooled these goofy ass niggas into thinking she don't rap about her pussy.
Yeah.
Like,
I was supposed to say, like, what are we talking about?
Like, come on. Like, be for real. My thing is, like, I think they were right to say, because I saw a bunch of people, including, you know, her label head, Top Dog, saying that this album or this mixtape felt reminiscent of Section 80. And I'm inclined to agree. But it's also, I think it's also very different from Section 80. Like, she's so theatrical. She's so, I mean, even theatrical down to the choice of her beats and the production of this album. And she sounds so confident of herself and so sure of her sound. Like, she's a storyteller. I mean, a storyteller. And I fucking love that. I love when women can be great storytellers. And I think this also, listening to this album and listening to some of these songs, like, Missy Elliott, you will always be an influence on these girls. Like, you will always be an influence on these girls. I can feel the Southern influences. There's a bit of Outkast that I'm hearing and feeling. There's a bit of Missy that I'm hearing and feeling. Like, I love that. And it's so Florida, but Florida in a different way. She's from Tampa. She's from Tampa. Right. She's from the swamp, from the Everglades. It's not Miami, but it's still Florida. It's still raunchy. And I love that. And I just think like this woman is so sure of herself. I can hear that in this music, even when she's talking about like the doubts that she's had and the struggles that she's had. Like, I can still tell and listen to this that she's holding back. Like, she hasn't given us everything that she can. And that, I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface. Listening to this, we haven't even scratched the surface of everything that Doechii can do in music. And that's why I'm really now super excited for the debut album, because I think that's what's so exciting about her, is there's so many lanes that she can, you know, jump into, and you can hear her really playing with all those sounds, and I think very expertly playing with those sounds on this. I think my one critique of it, well, number one, I wrote this note down, like, there was the transition from Prophet to Boom Bap. I thought that was genius. I thought that was fucking genius. Like, they're like, oh, make us a hit. So then Boom Bap, rappity rap. And she's just like, she's just like a troll, like such a premium, brilliant ass troll. And I fucking love that. But I do feel like my one big critique of this is like, it definitely feels like toward the end of the project, it kind of started to drag. Like, the beginning to me felt very strong. And then it kind of started I'm not going to say petering off, but the last couple of songs, like, I feel like once we hit GTFO.
And then,
it feels like a different project. And the transition wasn't as smooth as I would have liked it to be.
No, I see that.
Overall, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
8 out of 10.
I would say the same. Yeah, I would say the same thing. That's so true. I felt the same way, actually, about, like, it being a little bit too long. Yeah. Especially as a mixtape, right? This is almost 20 songs. I mean, I guess give or take, like,
yeah, for sure.
But, no, 8 out of 10. I'm very excited. And, like, something that you had said about, like, you know, how this is very Florida, but it's different. And she had talked about that in the Paper magazine of like how it's like, like, this is not Miami. No. Like, I am the future of Florida music. And it's different than this. Or what you've been hearing. Basically.
She is. Absolutely.
So, very good, though. I really enjoyed it.
Incredible. I enjoyed it. And I do like, I think Doechii is refreshing in the way of like, oh, there's another one. You know, like, here's another rap girl who is doing something different that I love, you know?
Right.
And I feel like we're spoiled. There's just this excess of women who are just incredibly talented, incredibly different from each other, and just like making fucking music and they're so bold and so confident and so like sure of themselves and of their sounds and just creating such incredible music across the board. I just feel like we're just spoiled right now. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
Like, I agree. I love it so much because one, it gives us something to talk about. You know, every week it gives us something to talk about. But even just as a person who loves music, I feel like there's been this rhetoric for the past couple of years about how hip hop is dying. It's not what it once was. But these women are holding this shit together. They're the very fabric of this shit. Not that they haven't always been, but right now they're leading the charge. And I love that. I love that.
Same.
Anyway, is it time for our main topic?
Yes. Take it back to college. Race and Ethnicity 101.
I think this is very necessary because I feel like the Africans and the Blasians have been acted up recently. So this is an episode.
About race and ethnicity.
I feel like it is absolutely time for us to talk about race and ethnicity in hip hop. And also, this is something we've been like an episode we've been wanting to do for like a couple months now, but we just kept putting it off. But I feel like now is the perfect time to do it, especially given, you know, the way the Africans and the Blasians just in general act, and even with the discourse today around Lil Wayne, you know, being the one who was going to go up and perform at the Super Bowl. So let's talk about that. Because I feel like niggas, and not just niggas. I'm not going single.
We're doing politically correct names today.
Okay. I feel like people really confuse race and ethnicity. So I pulled up an actual definition that we are going to use today during our for the purposes of our discussion. What is the difference between race, ethnicity, and nationality? So race is a division of people based on physical characteristics. Ethnicity is a categorization based on language or common ancestry. Nationality refers to citizenship in a particular nation. Are race and nationality the same thing? No. Race is categorization based on physical traits such as skin color. Nationality refers to a person's citizenship in a particular country. So these are often grouped together. And this article says, often these categories have led to catastrophic consequences, including slavery, war, racism, social segregation. Despite all three of the categories are still in use today. So I want to know, because I feel like this is something that comes up very often. I want to know, what are your thoughts on like the ongoing discourse that happens around women? And I think Cardi is a good one. But especially like Cardi, Bia, and Ice Spice. Like, do their multicultural backgrounds invalidate their blackness and their place in hip hop?
I don't think so. I think that it adds to the culture of like being able to like, hip hop is what you make of it. And I think that like them coming from different backgrounds, I think only adds to the pot of what hip hop can be and how it evolves over time. And so I don't think it discredits them by having another what is it called? Like ethnicity, like a part of who they are.
Yeah. I think I'm inclined to agree. Like I don't think that their backgrounds, invalidate their blackness, because all these women claim their blackness and they wear it very proudly. And I think the problem is that people try and use their multicultural backgrounds to invalidate, their blackness.
Right.
And in doing that, I think is when they feel like they have to be on the defense of their other backgrounds, that people feel like they're not as like they don't ride for their blackness like they do ride for the other parts of their identities. But I feel like hip hop kind of puts these women in a place where they try and other them and exoticizing the women, and doing that, placing blackness like on the lowest like level of like attractiveness as far as like women in hip hop goes. So you always want to be something. You always want to be like, and we can even jump into that. The next question, like what is your earliest memory of hip hop, exoticizing women? And, how are women in hip hop, especially rappers, affected by the exotification of like multicultural women?
Yeah. I don't think I have like a particular moment that stands out, but I think the easiest thing that comes to mind is like music videos and like the type of women like who are in the music videos. And I think we touch on this a little bit like in like a previous episode about like colorism. Yeah. Right. So I would say like within a music video aspect, but I think even like in the rhetoric that some rappers have used over the years of like, I need me like a foreign baddie chick, like whatever.
I like a long hair, thick red bone. Open up the legs and the I mean, yeah. When I think of the earliest memories of fucking, exoticizing women and othering women and like black being placed, that's it. It's him. Yeah, that's it. It's him. It's fucking Lil Wayne. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But so that
but it's also not just him. It's not just him.
No, it's a culture. Yeah. It's a cultural thing. It's all of them. They're all very guilty of this, And I think when we talk about like how women in hip hop, especially the female rappers, are affected by the exotification of like multiracial women, my thought is they kind of try to attribute a sort of masculineness to the women who are not multiracial, like Megan Thee Stallion, and not just Megan Thee Stallion, but like lots of rappers who don't have like, and there's this like hardness that they try and place on them, and like this like aspect of like they don't deserve protection because they're black and are unambiguously black. but they try
Mm-hmm.
and, but then these light-skinned women, you know, and these women who are like other ethnicities and also Black are very delicate, and they are to be
Mm-hmm.
protected, and
Mm-hmm.
they get all these passes, you know, to be
Mm-hmm.
very bad at rapping. And you know who I'm talking about. And
Wait, oh my God.
but I think in that way, it kind of they not just pit Black women and multiracial women who are like women who are mixed with something against each other, but they place those women who are very unambiguously Black on the bottom,
Yes.
in the dirt,
Okay.
really.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes their climb, their fight, their clawing their way to the top that much harder. Like, they don't
Yeah.
get the same passes and the same easy access elevator ride to success that, you know, other women who have multicultural backgrounds get. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. Hmm. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Hmm.
Okay. I want to know then, what do you think? Does this hurt the art form? Does it help the art form? Or is it a secret third thing?
Like, does it hurt to have women who come from multicultural backgrounds?
Not just that, but to have the way that it's placed on like a pedestal and the way that we exoticize them. Is that
Oh,
something that's, you
yeah.
know, hurtful, it's
Yeah.
helpful, or something else?
No. I think that it is. I think the way that it is celebrated is done wrong in the sense that, like, to your point, it's like if it's an uplift of another and then it's a downgrade of another, then that's not what should happen.
Yeah.
It should be a celebration of, like, okay, they bring a different perspective, a different way of uniqueness to the culture
Yeah.
that wasn't there before.
Yeah.
And I think that's also expressed from other people who are like in different regions. There's Southern rap, there's East Coast rap, there's West rap.
Yeah.
So I would say that it's a detriment to continue to, like, I guess, put it on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a detriment to put it on a pedestal. Yes. I also think that creates like even more difficulty for these women as they try and navigate through the industry.
Exactly.
So then, speaking of that, tell me, who is the most notable Blackfish rapper that you can think of, or the most egregious?
Okay, yeah. So I was trying to remember while you were away. It's not a rapper, but it's like a group from the 90s. The Color Me Bad.
Yes, I know exactly who they are.
That is the biggest catfish to me.
Wow. Yeah. That's a big one. That's
Right?
a big one. That's a big one.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, damn it. I'm thinking about them. Now I'm thinking about them. Oh my
Right?
God. Who is a bigger, like, notable Blackfish rapper? Because part of me is like, wants to say like the white girls like Iggy Azalea and Bad Barbie and like Tay Money, but those are low hanging fruit. You know, obviously, like those are like they're just that's very low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
I think a more notable like Blackfish of a rapper has to be a rapper we did not know was not Black, and like we had just discovered that, and it's just really hard because these bitches will lie about their ancestry as they are saying that Ice Spice is doing. You know, like they really will.
Yeah.
Okay. So then my next question then, how do we feel about non-Black Americans? And not even just Americans, but non-Black people, in hip hop as rappers, as producers, and all these people like who are in this genre who are not Black. A genre that's by Black and brown people.
No, I think it's fine. I think as long as you are respectful of the space and you're not being someone that you're not. So it's like you can be like a Latino or a white person who is really into hip hop,
yeah,
and doesn't have to feel like they have to put on a persona in order to be a part of the culture.
Yeah.
Like, you can have mutual respect and love for it and bring your own spin to it. And I think as long as it's all love and respect, then I don't think it's a problem.
I hate white hip hop heads. Sorry to be on the complete opposite end. I don't respect them or their opinions.
What about like what's his name? What's that producer's name?
Alchemist?
No. Who did Motorsport?
Murder Beats or something?
Yeah, he's white.
Okay. I still don't trust him.
Okay, you still stand by. You stand by
I
it.
still
Okay.
don't trust him. And you know what? Fine. You are allowed to be in this because we don't gatekeep this shit enough. But I just feel like you're a guest here. I don't want to hear your thoughts about anything, about somebody stealing somebody's sound, or about your opinions on like an artist that people disagree. We're not asking you. We're having this conversation as a family. You are an outsider. I don't give a fuck what you think about it. Shut up, actually. I never want to go to panels and listen to people talk about hip hop and there are white people up there. Never in my black ass life do I need to see that. I don't care what you think about hip hop, white person. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't care how successful you are. I don't care about your opinions on hip hop. I never want to read a book on hip hop written by a white person. I don't.
Well,
I don't care if you were there in the room. Rick Rubin, I'm sorry. I don't want to read it. I don't. I just, and maybe that's very unpopular, but something about white people in hip hop having such positions of power and having such say-so, it makes my skin crawl. Because this is not for you. This isn't yours.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. I was like thinking about like the people who are head of distribution, these labels, like
white
tend to be, white. And so it's like, I guess, how am I trying to say that? I guess I hear what you're saying. How can you also, in the same vein, though, the same type of people that they are assigning to their label, doing distribution for, like, you not believe that there is some connect in between of understanding, or
what do you mean connect?
Like connect in the like they have an understanding of like hip hop or like what's out there, and like because of obviously if they're in, well, not I guess I was gonna say because they're in this position they know something, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's true.
I don't think so. I just think it's I don't trust it, you know? I just don't trust it, and maybe it's just my general distrust of white people. But I really don't. I don't.
Okay.
Okay, so then how do we feel about rappers who are mixed race? Like Drake, who really never ever speak out on black issues. Like
I go back and forth with this so much because I think on one hand, I think it is their responsibility to share things that impact communities that are disenfranchised, that is relevant to just like how we operate in society. And especially if you are a person of position of power and influence, why not? And I think and that's like me talking, I think as a, like, if I was in that position, I would want to use it for good in some way. But then on the other hand, it's like, is this their responsibility to be talking about this stuff? Like, should I be going to Meg Thee Stallion to tell me who I should vote for in November?
Yeah.
You know, like at the end of the day, like, is it their responsibility? And I think some obviously take up the mantle more than others.
Yeah.
But I think that it's, I go back and forth on it.
I agree. And I do too, because like, you're absolutely right. There's some shit I'm like, I do not need to hear what Drake thinks about this.
Yeah.
I do not need to hear, like, you are not a politician.
Right.
I do not need to hear what you think about this. But then there's some times when I'm like, damn, all you want is my money? Like, you ain't got shit to say about
You don't have
this,
anything
nigga?
else to say?
Like, damn, that's all you want is my money? Like, okay. But
Yeah.
so I think it's hard to say, because I mean, isn't the responsibility of an artist to kind of like hold up a mirror, and maybe that's just me who thinks that, to like hold up a mirror to like what society looks like right now, and really, like, I don't know, inspire people. Like, I feel like good artists have always like spoken out on like issues and really inspired change, you know? And maybe maybe this apathy and really feeling like there's no responsibility is it feels new. You know what I mean? Because like you think about all these activists and artists and creators from like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. Like it was just like, this is what they do, you know? And now it's like, well, maybe.
Yeah, it's like, well,
maybe we might do that, but I don't
like,
owe
we'll
you
be
that
okay.
shit.
Yeah,
but exactly. I don't owe you that.
And that's why I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I think, unfortunately, it's like a personal choice that artists, I think, have to make to be like, if I want to be this type of person, and what are the repercussions and benefits that come with doing this? Yeah. Because I think there's things to evaluate on both sides of like, if I start doing this, then it's like, do I lose a percentage of my fan base? Do I like, you know, like the type of music that people expect me to have, or even like partnerships that I do, like down the line, like, is this aligned to like who I am and my values? So it shines a bigger spotlight, I think, on who the artist's identity is, and maybe some artists don't want that.
Yeah. And you know what?
Understandable.
I mean, I get it. I cannot complain. I really can't complain about that. So then, like, what do we think as far as race and ethnicity goes? Like, is the future of hip hop, especially with the uptick of like non-Black and mixed race people now being a part of the genre?
Mm-hmm. I think, again, as you like approach, I think, for me at least, with love, respect, like not trying to be something, a persona of somebody else in the industry, and like coming in with like your own love and knowledge of the culture, then I think it's okay. I think it adds more things to the pot. But I think it's when you decide to be something that you're not, and to try to perpetuate something that has already happened and claim it as your own, that's when it's an issue.
I think for me, like, as far as we stray from hip hop's roots and like what it was and the original purpose for it, I think there's always going to be, like, people are always going to be perceptive enough to weed out the fakes. So you can come here, you can be a fraud, you can think like, if I follow this formula, I'll have that kind of success, but you've never lived this life, and people will be able to tell you're a fraud. So I think if you approach it with honesty and with respect, and this genre that deserves that, then that's fine. But I think for those who don't, your time here is limited. Like, your days are numbered.
Yeah, I like what you said. I like that it can weed out the fakes easily, for sure.
It's just so easy to spot them, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Should we do music Rex?
Yeah, why not?
Do you have one, or do you want me to go? Because I have one.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I recently have like been listening to the Bitch Duh remix with Dreezy, Ken the Man, Lakia, and Bia again.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's just so catchy. I think Ken the Man really ate this verse up. And
I was just thinking about how I haven't heard anything from Ken the Man recently.
What's going on with her? What's she at? What's she doing? Maybe she's preparing for something. I hope so. So yeah, that's my music reg. Bitch Duh, the remix.
Nice. I'll have to go back and listen to it.
Yeah, I loved it.
I have been listening to Lotto's album like on constant repeat. And the song is not, I don't think, new. I'll give 2 off the album, but like Brokey, like
obviously. Clearly.
When a real one holds you down, babe,
you supposed to drown.
Supposed
Come
to
on
drown.
now.
And then I really like Shrimp and Grits
Me
with
too.
Young Nudie as well. So like those are my recommendations.
Yes.
I've had those on like repeat.
Me too. Every time.
Repeat.
Every time.
Yeah.
Squirting on a nigga, he be jerking my piss. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Sure. We're going
there.
there.
That is so odd.
We're going there.
You started the song like that.
Like,
where else can you go from there?
I don't know,
like,
but it's an excellent, excellent song. Okay, guys, if you made it all the way to the end of this episode, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Where My Girls At, and we will see you guys in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Where My Girls At, a podcast about Black women in hip hop. Where My Girls At is produced and edited by Mariah Woods and hosted by Mariah Woods and Brianna LaRosliere. Follow us on Twitter at Where My Girls At 2, on Instagram at Where My Girls At _TH, and on TikTok at Where My Girls At Pod. See you next time.